Hello, good afternoon. My name is Ibrahim Muhammad. Today I'm demonstrating here a topic, project about class demonstration of cybersecurity and cyber operation. And my name is Ibrahim Muhammad again. My instructor name is Alex Help, University of Metropolitan State University. And my project is about implementing vulnerability management process in organizations. Before I start, I wanted to clear that this video project is about a course requirement and for educational demonstration purposes, and I'm not liable for any damages that could be caused using these demonstrations in other purposes. Okay, introduction. Vulnerability management is a crucial process in many organizations, security strategy. It involves monitoring, identifying, protecting against security vulnerabilities that can exploit using malicious malware in their data. Implementing vulnerability management process will protect them from security risks that could lead to the data breaches. It also helps organizations provide their security by making it easier for them to find the weaknesses and report them and fix them in advance. This project will outline the steps involved in implementing a vulnerability management process in organizations. The members of the vulnerability management, there's a team that's going to do that. And it is based on the size and the structure of the organization. Every organization has kind of teams, okay? Some kind of 5, some kind of more. And IT, the team member is responsible for maintaining and updating the organization's IT infrastructure systems. Security member team is responsible for assessing the organization's security posture and identifying potential vulnerabilities and implementing security controls and mitigate risks. Risk management, there's one member there. He's responsible for assessing potential impact of vulnerability on the organization, determining appropriate risk management strategies. Compliance, this team member is responsible for ensuring that organization complies with relevant regulations and standards related to the vulnerability management. Application developer member is responsible for identifying and remediating vulnerabilities in organization software applications. Operation member is responsible for ensuring that vulnerability management processes are integrated into organizations' potentials and appropriate resources are allocated to address identified vulnerabilities. Executive leadership is the lead of the team. Team member is responsible for providing oversight and support for vulnerability management team, ensuring that organization's leadership is informed about potential security risks. He informs the upper management the incident. Okay, step 1. There are 6 steps we are going to go through. Step 1, establish a vulnerability management team. The first step is to implement a vulnerability management process. It is to establish a team responsible, the team we mentioned above, responsible for vulnerability. The team should include individuals from different departments such as IT, security, risk management, and leadership. They should necessarily skills and knowledge of identifying vulnerabilities, implementing the appropriate solutions to mitigate them. Okay, step 2, and conduct a vulnerability assessment. The next step is to conduct a vulnerability assessment to identify potential vulnerabilities in organization systems, software, and hardware. The assessment should be comprehensive and over all the area of organization infrastructure. The team should use vulnerability scanning tools and other assessment techniques to identify and prioritize vulnerabilities based on their severity. Step 3, that they develop a remediation plan. Once vulnerabilities have been identified, the team should develop a remediation plan to address them. The plan should prioritize vulnerability based on their severity. Some of are higher, some are dangerous, some critical, some high, some are moderate. So the potential impact they could have the organization. Some need longer time to fix. They should also develop a timeline for remediation, assign responsibilities to individuals and teams for each vulnerability. Step 4, they implement security controls. After developing a remediation plan, the team should implement security controls to protect against the future vulnerabilities. They might include implementing firewalls, intrusion detections, prevention systems, and other security measures to protect against malicious attacks. The team should also ensure that system and software are up to date and latest security patches. Step 5, the test validate security controls. Once they identify the test and validate security controls. Once the security control have been implemented, and the team should test it, validate their effectiveness. This may include conducting penetration testing assessment to determine if vulnerability is still existing. The team should also monitor, analyze security logs to detect, respond to potential security. And step 6, they monitor and update vulnerability management process. The final step in the implementation vulnerability management process is to monitor and update this regularly. The team should continually assess the organization's infrastructure for new vulnerabilities and update the remediation plan accordingly. They should also monitor the effectiveness of security controls and adjust them as necessary to improve the organization's security posture. And in this final step, the team will do, they have identified vulnerability. In this step, they also rescan and do if they rescan the result and compare. When they fix the problem, they rescan and compare the result with the previous result. And if there is a vulnerability still exists, they fix it. Sometimes a new vulnerability comes out when they, because if they do incorrectly, they can create another vulnerability. So that should be rescanned finally and make sure that there's no more vulnerabilities before, okay, conclusion. Before conclusion, and we are going to have a demonstration. So in the demonstration, we're going to scan, and scanning is essential step in pen testing and network vulnerability assessment. I will use Kali Linux that provide a wide range of scanning tools. In this demonstration, we're going to use Nmap. We scan the script, we scan the version, and okay. So before I go to the demonstration, I want to conclude this one, and we go to the demonstration. Okay, conclusion. Implementing a vulnerability management process is critical for organizations to protect against security risks and data breaches. By establishing a vulnerability management team, conducting a comprehensive vulnerability assessment, developing a remediation plan, implementing a security controls, testing and validating security controls, monitoring and updating the vulnerability management process regularly, organizations can significantly improve their security posture and protect against the potential security risks. So, thank you for listening. I'm going to now a demonstration part. And I'm not going to use my Kali Linux on my machine, but I will use and try Hackme. They have an open, they have a free software. So here I have, and because of the time, I have scanned already the Nmap. I use this one, Nmap, and scan the scripting version, and the IP address is here. So we can identify here, this is the result that come out. We can identify that port 135, port 139, port 1445, and some other ports are open. These ports are running TCP port, TCP, and 135 is running Microsoft Windows RPC, 139 is NetBIOS, 145 TCP is open, and it's running Windows 7 Professional 7601 Surface Pack 1, which has a known vulnerability. And okay, let me go through a little bit before that. Okay, so it's running this, as I mentioned it before, and this has a well vulnerability. We can see here that it is using, and the computer name is there, John. And if we have good time, we'll go through. Okay, this is one way. Another way is to use this script, nmap script smp vulnerable ms17. This is eternal blue, which has a wild is, and I wanna cry, and that was famous in previous years. So this has also same ports open, a lot of ports open, and here it says that host script result vulnerable and to ms17, and it has a high risk here. It has remote control execution vulnerability existed. So if I can get ms console, msf console, if I can get, I will do a little bit demonstration of if I can go through that, this vulnerability. And because here it says that message signing disabled and dangerous. This is a big, and this is supposed to be not disabled, it's supposed to be enabled. Also here it's enabled but not required. It must be required. This is a vulnerability, it needs fixing. So IT security should fix this. Okay, we run the Metasploit, MS Console, Metasploit, if we can exploit, and hackers, they exploit this one. So, and let me first search Eternal Blue, because this one was vulnerable to, this one was vulnerable to Eternal Blue, which is M1701. And we use first one, which is 0, we use 0, we write 0 here. Okay, option is, okay, if I expand a little bit here, we can see that our host is not set. We set our host. So our IP address is 10.1.229.133. Okay, so let me run. Sometimes it fails. If it runs, I little bit go through and try to find out the, try to figure out the host we have seen, which was John. Okay, wait, good. It runs. So where are we? Get UID. Good. We are. This is remote. We can. I told you we can access remotely. This is NT authority system. Shell. Now before I shell, let me hash down. Hash down. Wow. You see, this is the username. An administrative username is in a hash form. A guest is hash form. John, which we have seen here as a vulnerability, which we have seen here. Okay, sorry, this one. So we were told that the computer name, NetBIOS computer name was John, and we got the Johnny's name. I'm not going to further from there, and I'm not going further because and I wanted to show that there's vulnerability and there's a vulnerability. So the team should fix this problem. They should use a newer version of, and newer version is, current version is not, and current operating system like Windows 11, Windows 10, which are very secure. This one does not, and Microsoft does not support anymore this and Windows 7. So today I want to finish our demonstration here. Thank you for watching and appreciate. Good afternoon.